There are some core things that are really important to understand when you are working on your recovery from a condition where nervous system regulation is at the core of what's going on. And right now, I'm going to walk you through what one of those things are. It's something that I find that even many of the experts in this space who are very well informed about brain retraining actually don't talk about this one critical piece. And without addressing this, as you work on your recovery, you are pretty much setting yourself up for a scenario where symptoms will keep coming back. Trust me, I know this from experience. So I think most of us are starting to understand by now that symptoms have a purpose. They are a tool that our brain and our nervous system use to alert us to some sort of threat. This can be an emotional threat or a physical threat. As the incredible Dr. Howard Schubiner explained in my interview with him, it is the exact same neural pathways in the brain that are enacted, whether it's a physical threat or an emotional threat. It's all processed the same. And once that threat is detected, it uses what it has at its disposal to let you know that you need to pay attention, which is to give you symptoms. And those symptoms will stay. You'll keep having them until your brain and your nervous system assess that the threat is no longer there. I often use the example of a building with a fire alarm going off. That alarm, that's that building's symptom to alert you. That alarm will keep going off as long as its sensors detect that there's still a fire in the building. And then once the sensors detect that there's no more fire, there's no more smoke, then it will turn the alarm off. So if you still have symptoms, if there are still symptoms in your body, your brain and your nervous system are still assessing that there is a threat. That is a fact. And until you can signal to your brain and your nervous system that there is no threat, those symptoms will keep coming up. And there are two main ways that we can signal to our brain and our nervous system that there is no threat and we do not need these horrible symptoms. And the first one we talk about a lot, and that is our reaction to symptoms. So when symptoms come up, if we respond with fear and panic and, oh my goodness, what's going on? Or if we're like frustrated, why are they still here? All these negative emotions, that is telling those sensors in our body, yeah, we still got a problem. Things are not okay. Keep the symptoms going. So yes, it's very important to work to respond to your symptoms in a different way, in a way that you feel safe, that you remember that your body is okay, and that you're not continuing to set off those alarms or to reinforce to your brain and your nervous system that those alarms are still needed. But on this one, here's the insight that changes everything. You can be reacting to your symptoms with neutrality and lightness and acceptance all day long, every day. And if you're not doing this second thing, your symptoms might get less, they might even go away, but they're going to continue to come back. And the second piece of this is something of everything I've read, of everyone I've talked to, everyone I've interviewed, the person who explains this the best is the incredible Nicole Sachs. She's an absolute guru in this space, and for good reason. She's been doing this work for decades and helped thousands of people to get past their mind-body conditions. And she talks about the second thing that's setting off those alarm bells for your brain and your nervous system is your emotional reservoir. And she explains this like to help you to understand what this is and why it's an issue and why you need to address it. Picture a beaker inside of your chest, like one of those big glass beakers that they use in laboratories. And we have this, and this is where we store emotions that we haven't processed, we haven't dealt with, we've pushed down for whatever reason. We can get some strong emotions that we don't want to deal with. We're like, oh, we'll just shove them down. Or our boss is mean to us, like, oh, just put it down, or maybe we're living a life that doesn't really make us happy, or we're not being our authentic selves in the world, and we keep showing up and putting on this mask and pretending that everything's okay, and it's not okay, and we shove it down, we shove it down. This can be things from our past, this can be trauma from our childhood that we're scared to deal with, that we don't think about, or we don't even realize that we need to process it because we think that's in the past. How is that affecting me now? So we shove it down and we shove it down. And we're built with this beaker. It's a tool of ours. It's a good thing. We need this. It helps us. Repressing emotions is something that we do. It's an adaptive response because we don't want to feel every strong emotion in the moment that we get it. Like, picture that your boss is having a bad day and goes off on you in a meeting in front of all of your colleagues, and you are filled instantly with explosive rage. Like, do you want to start swearing and throwing things around the room and quit your job and slam the door? Like, probably not, even though it would feel good in that moment. So it helps us to be like, I'm going to put this away for now, and I'm going to deal with it when I'm in a safer space to process this emotion. So it's a good thing that we do this. Here's where the problem happens. If that beaker starts to fill up, if it reaches a maximum density, it's about to overflow, there's too much. We haven't been dealing with things for far too long. That sends off alarm bells. Our brain and our nervous system register that the same way that it would register the threat of a person chasing us with a gun. Remember, emotional threats, physical threats, processed by the brain the exact same way. So we need tools to deal with this emotional reservoir that we have. We need ways to take scoops out of it so it stays at a manageable level. And our brain and our nervous system are like, yeah, that's okay. It's there. We know it's there. It's fine. It's not a danger. We've got this under control. And the good news is we're never trying to get it empty. No one's ever going to be like, I've dealt with all my trauma and processed all my emotions, and I'm in this perfectly pristine place of serenity and peace. That is not what we're aiming for. We are resilient. You can handle stress. You can store some emotions away for later. That is fine. But you need to make sure that you're dealing with them eventually. And there are so many different ways that you can do this. You can do this through journaling, which is one of the ones that Nicole Sachs talks about a lot, and really honest journaling, where you're not just recounting your days or your frustrations, but you're shining a light on the parts of your thoughts and your feelings that you think you're not allowed to have, that you think are shameful or wrong or just so terrible that you can't admit them out loud. And you can just write them down and then set that journal on fire. You never have to read it again. No one ever has to see it, but it's important to get it out. And this can be through therapy. This can be through meditation. This can be through screaming into a pillow. It can be having really honest conversations with people in your life that you trust, just finding ways to take those scoops out. And the incredible thing is that just giving your emotions space frees up that emotional reservoir, that beaker that you're carrying around, because emotions just eventually want and need to be felt. And something magical happens when you allow yourself to feel an emotion. An emotion felt is emotion changed. You feel it get lighter. You feel yourself start to release it. You see yourself like learn things from it and figure out how to do things better in the future. Without using these tools to address your emotional reservoir, your symptoms are going to keep coming back. They might disappear for a while, but then they're going to pop up again, and they might look different. They might be in a new spot. They might be a completely new symptom, but your brain and your nervous system are going to continue to do what they're meant to do. What you want them to do is to alert you to danger, and the tool they have for that is symptoms. And once you've dealt with these first things, so you've figured out the tools to respond to your symptoms without fear, and now you've got all these tools to deal with your emotional reservoir, from there, the third step is just figuring out, learning how to slowly expand activity and resume normal activity while feeling safe doing it. Because we also become fearful about everything in life. We start to associate exercise, danger, like going outside, I'm going to feel worse, sitting up too long, talking on the phone too long, whatever it is, we become very fearful of life. But it's okay, because we can rewire that as well. And we can teach our brain and our nervous system that these things are safe also. If you'd like to learn more about this, I invite you to come join me in my course. I have a course called Brain Retraining 101 for ME/CFS and long COVID recovery. Now, virtually all the information and resources that I have, you can find for free online in various formats. It is all there. But if you want to save yourself some digging, you can come and join me in the course, and you just have all the essential need to know information in one place. And it's also a place where you can connect with a supportive community. We have weekly live group coaching calls that I do, that other coaches do. And I look forward to meeting you if you do join, and you'll just also have these amazing people around you who get it and are supporting you and are cheering you on as you work your way past this. Thank you for watching. And if you'd like to join the course, there's a link in the video description to learn more, and I hope to see you there.